Hello guys and welcome to another stream. I am TTM Tez and alongside me today we have
Hello guys, it's Caesar. It's just Caesar now. I've left the course. So yeah, tonight I'm together with Tess finally for the first time us two commentating. Tonight we have a very interesting race. It's a bit of a different format than normally. Tonight we have FRT, TTM, and FRA racing in a 5 versus 5 race. These two teams were knocked out after the knockout group stages, and they're gonna fight for P5 tonight.
yeah, certainly are. It's like you say, it's a bit of a different format having this 5v5v5. We normally have a 6v6s. But yeah, all three teams were up for battling out for the P5 to P. Well, all of them want to try and get P5. They're all up for it. So yeah, it's really good to have a little bit of a different format coming in into the second last race of the season. Obviously, we have the final, which isn't confirmed yet, but that should be sometime next week. And that'll be NOX versus Decorus, and that's a late change. It was supposed to be ERL, but with some stewarding changes right at the end. Actually, Decorus advanced through, so that'll be a pretty big race. So stay tuned for that. More information on that will be coming soon, I would think. But as of right now, there isn't a confirmed date. So Caesar, we're coming into this race today. We'll have a little look at lineups shortly. But who do you think? In what order do you think these teams will be going from P5 to P7? What is your guess?
It's gonna be very close, that's for sure. Well, I'm obviously in the lobby. I'm seeing some very fast and rapid names. So yeah, I think we're gonna be in for a cracker tonight. If I would have to guess one team who can take P5, it would be FRA, I think.
Yeah, FRA are very very strong. But I think all three teams have got strong lineups. We'll literally be able to go into the lineups shortly. But it should be a very good race. Around Silverstone, around Britain, if you guys haven't already figured that one. Um, but yeah, let's have a little look at the lineups now. On screen, you can see the lineups. So for FRA, they have Overkilled 23, FRA Vapisti 21, and then they have Jordan Severe, FRA Jack 62, and FRA John 79. If I do FRT's lineup, Caesar, do you have it in front of you or?
Tonight for FRT are racing Rokori 13. We have ERN Maxwell G, who's actually being replaced by Alpha tonight because
Okay.
unfortunately he couldn't make it. We have FRT FH, we have Rev Caterpillar and Rapid.
Yeah, and then finally for TTM, we have L74G, Matt GW, TTM Callum, TTM Jerry, and TTM JC. So yeah, some really big names throughout all three teams there. It should be a very exciting race. Um, have you got a pole sitter? Who do you think the pole sitter could be today, Caesar?
A pole sitter. I think normally FRA Jet is quite good in qualifying, but I think L7 and Matt as well.
Yeah.
But I think my guess would be FRA Jet for
Okay, yeah,
pole
yeah,
tonight.
yeah. That's a good shout. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. A lot of these drivers qualify pace. Quite a few names here that I've not actually seen race before. Um, but I know there are some. There's quite a few drivers here that could potentially take that pole position. One driver that's I've noticed is FRT FH44. That's supposed to be two fours, by the way, not three fours. That's a typo from me. He actually got P3 in SRC the other day, so he's going to be in some great form at the moment. So he's definitely going to be one to watch out for. But like I say, FRA Jack, very good at qualifying. I think maybe we could even see TTM JC. I think JC's been doing some incredible times in practice. So I think I'm rooting for TTM JC for the pole position. But yeah, so we could obviously the weather is going to be set to dynamic, so there is a high chance we could see some rain today, which could throw a spanner into the works. Obviously, being Britain, we're quite used to the rain in this country, so that could throw a huge spanner into the works and change up change up the strategies and all sorts. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. We've got 3 minutes remaining until we head into the race. Are you in the lobby yet, Caesar?
Yeah, I've just sent you an invite.
Have you? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, so currently we have 14 drivers in the lobby. Let me just figure out who we're missing. I think we are missing. I think someone from FRT, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it? Well, so as well, you won't be able to see just yet. Obviously, you guys get to see the graphic at the moment. We'll go onto the live screen very shortly, but it's going to be a little bit of a different one. So rather than running multiplayer cars, which would have been visually easier to work out on the stream, you will see what normal F1 cars the teams will be running. So for TTM, it will be McLaren, AlphaTauri, and Ferrari. FRT have Aston Martin, Williams, and Alfa Romeo, and FRA have Red Bull, Mercedes, and the Alpine. So, 3 of those teams will only be occupied by 1 driver, as it's 5 today rather than 6s. But yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. What's the lobby looking like at the moment?
We currently have 13 drivers, so I'm afraid we're missing a few.
Yeah,
Let's see. Alpha's gone into spectator mode, so I think Maxwell G is going to join.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So let us know in the chat, guys. I see there's a few of you now have turned up. It's good to see you guys in the stream. Let us know, who do you guys think we could see on maybe pole position, win? What team do you think could be not such dominating, or unless you think there could be a team that's dominating. Let us know. I want to see what you guys think. Kai Pearson says TTM JC is really quick, especially quali. So maybe that is Kai's prediction as well for pole position. Likewise with me. Hello Houkou, how you doing? Heatwave says TTM 1-5. That would be
That's bold.
that would be nice from for TTM if that did happen. But that's going to be quite difficult to do, especially with the drivers surrounding the TTM team. There's some very good names here. So as much as that would be wishful thinking from Heatwave, I don't think that's going to be very feasible. But anything can happen, of course. Matt GW says Luke Grange, so that'd be L74G. He thinks he could get pole position. Not too sure. I don't think Luke's too confident with his qualifying pace, but he will definitely have the race pace on him. Only recently been re-signed to TTM, both Matt GW and L74G after having some time away. So they'll be debuting for the first time since they returned tonight. So it's good to see them back in the team. Ross says Tez for pole. Jay says Tez should be racing. Well,
I agree.
we all know that TTM would definitely lose if I race, because I am very slow. But recently I got another wheel, so I'm back on wheel, guys, after my little break. But yeah, I couldn't quite hack the pad. I was even slower on that, believe it or not.
Yeah, so currently only one FRT driver is having a problem. He's restarting his console at the moment, but then he should be joining very shortly.
Perfect. I have got the Logitech G920, the first wheel I had. I've decided to get again. I sold it to Smithy, actually, the one of the owners of BFE. I sold it to Smithy, my whole rig. Then got the Fanatec, and then sold the Fanatec, and then I've now recently got a Logitech once again. I do like the Logitech, to be fair. It's a good value for what it is.
Yeah, it's quite a good wheel.
It's not bad. Tez back to owner after Smithy and Callum leave. I don't think that's going to be happening, Jay. That was an interesting idea from you. No, I think yeah, so that's big. That's also big news recently. If you guys haven't been keeping up to date with the Twitter or with the Discord, Smithy and Callum have resigned, which has been a huge shock actually, to I think to everyone really. When I saw the news, I was really shocked. I didn't expect that. Obviously, Smithy and Callum were the two that arguably sort of got all these tournaments sort of started. Obviously, they started BFE. Obviously, SRC of course were the original tournament. But then it was the 6v6. That was the sort of thing they came up with, and there's been so many different tournaments that are very similar to that made since. But yeah, they're kind of like the epicenter of these tournaments almost, and to see them resign has been I can't quite get my head around it, to be fair. But yeah, they've obviously got other plans potentially, or yeah, there must be some sort of reasoning behind it. But yeah, it'd be sad to see them go. What's your take on that, Caesar?
Yeah, yeah. Well, for me, well, I knew it for a bit longer already, but yeah, it's gonna be a shock. I'm gonna be owner on my own, at least as it stands now. But yeah, I'll be building together with a very strong team for season 4. We're making plans already. Things about those plans will be confirmed and published very soon. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a bit of a refresh, but let's hope I can take it in a good way with the team.
Yeah, 100%. Well, since you've come on board, you've brought some great new ideas, formats in, and yeah, you're very persistent with doing things here at BFE, and yeah, so I don't think you'll be in a sense struggling. I think you'll be able to do a grand job. Obviously, it's just going to be very different though, isn't it? Obviously,
Yeah.
going being a solo owner for at least for the time being, like you say. But yeah, huge news for BFE that is, after 3 seasons of running it. Well, Callum and Smithy being owners, suddenly all coming to an end. But yeah, how far away are we now? It's 5 minutes past 8. I think it looks like some drivers are trying to ready up already. I think might be
Yeah.
a little bit impatient. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 drivers. Oh, 15 drivers. I think that's it now.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's in. All right, good.
Yeah, it's 15 drivers, so we should be good to go. Okay, guys, so we are going to be heading into qualifying now, and this is for the P5 to P7 playoffs. FRT versus FRA versus TTM, all going to try and take that P5 spot. Who do we think is going to be coming out on top? What do we think? What do we think weather-wise, Caesar? What's your prediction for weather?
The weather. Well, in the course versus ERL, we saw a web race. And yeah, I mean, like I said in the beginning, in Britain it rains a lot. But yeah, honestly, for me, I think for the entertainment and dry race would be the best because the drivers have obviously practiced the most for the dry weather.
Of course.
But a rain in qualifying could
I
really mix things up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It could be a wet qualifier. I've got this. Don't know. I've got this thought that it could be a wet quali and a full dry race. That's what I'm thinking. But anything could happen. And we're going on the loading screen now, guys. So let's head over to the live screen. Okay, here we go. As you can see, just beneath the team logos at the top, you can see the teams: the Red Bull and Alpine Mercedes for FRA, the McLaren Alpha Tauri and Ferrari for TTM, and the Alfa Romeo Williams and Aston Martin for FRT. So when you're watching the stream, you can clearly identify who's who, and it looks like we have a dry quali. If we can get Caesar, I don't know if you can find out what the weather is for the whole race weekend. That'd be ideal. Okay, so who is going to be first out on track? Whoever's first out on track, we will jump on board with and go on board with them and see how they get on. Houkou seems to think FRA will come out on top. Right, okay, so we're seeing a Mercedes and a Red Bull coming out. I think it might be a McLaren as well. GW. Who is going to be the first one out? But it looks like an Alfa Romeo is first out. Iran Maxel G, so we'll go on board with him as he is the first driver out today. FRA, so it's Chris McGee, an ex-FRA driver. You can see on the stream. We have a little bit
so
of
quite a few drivers have chosen the medium tires, some of them still in. But yeah, obviously with 15 drivers qualifying, it gives you a bit of space to do an alternate strategy by qualifying on the mediums in qualifying. Yeah, well, last time out in NRX versus AMS, we saw the alternate strategy working out quite well for AMS MXR in turn. And yeah, especially now we have 15 drivers. The alternate strategy could make a difference around here.
Yeah, it certainly could. It'd be good to see some drivers qualify on the mediums and shake it up a little bit with the strategies. It'd be good to see. We have Jack right in the back of Max over here as they come around to finish up this out lap. Jack's come in, so Jack's opted out of the mediums. FRA John as well, so John and Jack both on the mediums. Always Maxwell gets a huge amount of oversteer coming out to save that. So maybe we could see some, I don't know why two drivers would have come in on the mediums. They came out and then they went straight back in the pits. Do we know what the weather's going to be like for this season?
I have not received any weather reported yet, but hopefully we will receive that soon.
Maxwell so far, he's coming to the end of sector 1. Had a few moments for the track evolution. Hasn't quite played his part yet, so it's still a little bit slidey out there. And you can see Maxwell has been sort of struggling for traction a little bit in places. But so far, not too shabby at all for the Alfa Romeo driver. Or should I say the FRT driver.
So I've been confirmed it's a full dry qualifying end race.
Okay.
So no rain will occur in today's fixture.
A lot of drivers will be quite happy with that after, like you said earlier season, that most of them will be practicing more dry weather than wet weather. So Maxwell now coming up to finish up his lap. Does he invalidate that? He does run wide. And that doesn't actually invalidate his lap there, so he got away with that one. But Maxwell now coming to finish up his lap. What is the first time today going to be? It's a 26.7 from the FRT driver. So we've got some other drivers as L7 and 4G goes provisional pole, and then Matt GW snatches off with instantly with a 26.6. Not much separating those two drivers from track 1 and 2 TTM.
Oh, Rev spills in the last corner.
Yeah, Rev
got a pillar.
Big spin at that last corner.
JC about to cross the line.
What can JC do?
oh my god. Literally the same time to L7.
That's incredible.
But that makes me wondering, JC said it later than L7, but he's supposed to be behind him. But
yeah, but, or you could say maybe alphabetically, but even that wouldn't make sense, because obviously L's 14, that's so strange. I don't know why that is, but yeah, two exactly same time. You don't see that very often. Okay, who else? I think Rapid is finishing up his lap at the moment. What time does he do? He was P5 at 26.9. So, first medium runner, Rokouri, who is a FRT driver. He's the first medium runner, doing 27.3. Okay, who else is on lap? Overkill, FH44.
Overkill goes before with 126.665. So close at the top 4.
There it is. Corey just get out of the way there for FH44. I think he might actually get a bit of a slipstream there for his teammate, so that was very nice of him. Certainly can help by fraction the slipstream, especially if you do it effectively. If you do it correctly, very effective slipstream. So through Maggie's and Beckett's section right now. Had a Pretty tidy lap so far from the sim. So
Tez,
far.
I've got a question if you can lower the game volume.
Oh, of course, yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
FH about to cross the line now in the final chicane. I think he's 10th down on Matt GW. So he's expecting to go P5, I think, and he goes P5.
If you want to go on board, I've got to quickly just edit some graphics. If you want to choose someone to go on board with, I'll jump on board for you.
FRA Jet about to cross the line. I think he's 3 tenths up on Matt GW, and he goes pole at 26.2. The Mercedes driver.
Nicely done there from John. I think Jack was on a lap as well. What team are we doing? Currently not set a lap.
About to cross the line, FRA Jack 62. And he goes P8 with a 26.8, and his teammate in the Red Bull, FRA Pisty, about to cross the line as well. Rounding the final corner very nicely, and he goes P2 with a 126.5. And we have Callum on the mediums in the final corner as well, and he goes P13 with a 27.7 on mediums. The only driver I think who has set his time on the mediums, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I believe he is. Oh, actually, I don't know. Maybe I think we saw. I can't remember who. I think it was Rory. I think set a lap.
Yeah, Rory did a lap on the mediums as well, I think.
Okay, let me know if that's better, guys. Oh, he's still in the way. Yeah, you can just see me now, should be fine. Yeah, apologies for that, guys, but it should be much better now, you can see. Okay, so nearly everyone's set a lap. Jordan Veer is the only one not to set a time, as he's about to start his lap now. So let's go on board with Jordan Veer, or Veer, I'm not too sure, so correct me if I've said that wrong, I do apologise. The Alpine driver for FRA is about to start his lap now. But it is currently an FRA front row lockout provisionally with John, who's done a 26.2, which is quite a lot faster, by quite a big amount there, from his teammate Pisty. 3 tenths in fact, so some big margin there. Jordan's lap's looking very clean so far. I haven't seen any oversteer, or it looks like the traction looks pretty good for Jordan. Or Jordan, it's not Jordan, my bad. Coming up toward Maggots and Beckett's now. Who do we think will be going for pole then, guys? We've seen most drivers have set a lap so far. 8 minutes left on the clock. Do we have any guesses for pole position? Look like a few drivers could potentially snatch that pole. We've got quite a few drivers out laps, and quite a few drivers on laps now, in fact, as well. But Joran there is coming to finish his lap. Let's see what he does as he goes P2. So that is a FRA 1-2-3 as it stands. He does 26.3.
Yeah, a good final sector. I think it was 2 tenths down on Jet in sector 2 split.
Yeah, very nicely done there from Jordan. We're on board with JC now. It's going around Cops in the McLaren for TTM. I still do think that JC is going to be the pole sitter. From a non-biased view either, I just generally think that he's definitely on pace around here. He's been doing some great times in practice, so I do think that he can be the one to snatch him up today.
Ref Caterpillar crosses the line in his Aston Martin and he goes P3 with a 126.5.
Okay, so it's the highest current FRT driver. Currently finds himself in P3 provisionally at the moment. 7 minutes left on the clock. JC comes around, and he goes current P1 with a 26.2. Great lap there from JC. So I see some good times coming through now from these guys. Let's see what the gap's currently looking like. So the top 4 are separated by 3/10, or top 5 even by 3/10. So it's looking pretty close here. The top two are separated by less than a tenth. But there's still plenty of time left yet to start seeing some more times being set.
L7 about to cross the line. He's 2.5 tenths up. He goes P4, 26.333.
Top 4 all separated by 1/10. Okay, so let's have a go. Who do you want to go on board with this time, Caesar?
I think.
Overkill's about to finish up his lap.
Yeah.
So he's going to stow at the moment. Oh, he goes wide.
He validates.
Luckily, he can jump into the pits. He doesn't have to do a full lap. That works out quite well for him. Yeah, who would you like to go on board with this, Caesar?
Let's go with FRA Jet, the guy in P2. He's currently 300s up. Currently on the hanger straight, about to enter stow.
He could potentially snatch the provisional pole position if he.
Ooh, that was very close on the exit there.
Might have lost a little bit of time there. This is going to be close. Can he steal that current provisional pole position from JC? Coming around the final corner now, and he doesn't. Oh, he does improve, but not enough to give him pole position.
FRT FH goes P6 with a 26.5.
FRA Jack's about to finish up his lap, coming into village now. What can he do? Does he come around the final corner? He goes P9. Who else is on the left?
FRA V Pisty, he's 1.5 tenths up.
What can
About
he
to
do?
go into the final chicane.
That was smooth through there. That was nice.
That was very smooth.
That was very good. Pishti goes
26.2.
Wow,
Oh, it's so close.
Look at the top 3. Which even the top 5 separated by a tenth, you know, so super close
Yeah.
on these guys. Great to see how close these guys actually are.
And even P1 to P11 by 5 tenths.
Yeah, incredible. So Callum's on a lap. He's currently only set a time on mediums. TTM driver want to give it a go at pole himself. See how he continues with his lap. Currently finds himself 2.5 tenths up after the sector 1. Looking smooth so far from Callum. In the Ferrari, the only Ferrari driver today. Coming through Cops. Very clean and tidy through Cops there. I don't have the game volume on though, so I'm not sure who's lifting going through there, who's not. Can you take it flat through there? Is that possible, Caesar?
I think you can. You would take a lot of commitment and turn in at the very right time, because if you turn in too early, you will lose the rear, and if you turn in too late, you will run out of road on the exit and you invalidate. As Callum, he does not invalidate, but he backs off and he goes into the pits.
Yeah, he must have thought he was going to invalidate there, so he just committed to the bits. 4.5 tenths up though after sector 2. There's still, he's still definitely got a lot to show.
Rogori about to cross the line in the Williams for FRT, and he goes P6 at 26.5 again.
Wow. 3 drivers all set 0.5s. 2 drivers on 0.3s and 3 drivers on 0.2s. Okay, so I think everyone's coming out now for their last lap. So who is going to be the first one to start their last lap? Okay, it's going to be an AlphaTauri. It's going to be Jerry, so let's go on board with the Dutchman. We haven't been on board with him yet. He's currently finding himself in P14, did a 27.0. Definitely know he can do a lot better than that, so he's going to try and his chances to work his way up the order. Who do you think is going to go for pole then after we've seen 16 minutes so far in this session, Caesar? Who do you reckon it could be?
To be honest, I think everyone who's currently in the top 7 or maybe top 8. They can all still improve. So yeah, it's gonna be close, but I think for Paul it should be JC versus FRA Jet.
Yeah,
They've shown very consistent lap times already.
so it's gonna go on board with Jerry for his lap. I think everyone else coming out of the pits now,
Yeah, everyone else out of the pits.
leaving it as late as they can to try and get that maximum, take maximum advantage of the track evolution. But it's going to be the Flying Dutchman who's going to give it a go first. Coming through village now to start his final lap of the day. 1.5 minutes left on the clock before qualifying is over. Jerry is going to go for it, starting his lap now. Coming through turn 1, flat. Very easy to actually lose time coming through turn 1, even though it is flat. You mess up the lines ever so slightly, you can actually lose substantial amount of time. I can't even speak. Amount of time. But so far, looking very clean from Jerry. Looks like he's got some good traction to the car. Doesn't seem to be fighting the car too much. To quite a wide line there, though. He would have lost out a little bit of time, not making that apex. But overall, not looking too bad. How's everyone else looking so far? Have you noticed anything, Caesar?
I think Jerry's going to face a bit of traffic at the end.
Yeah, he could do.
Quite a lot of drivers on the angle
he's
straight at the moment.
invalidated though. He is invalidated, so that will be Jerry not starting within the top 10. Currently P14. Callum's starting his lap now, so it could potentially even be starting from P15. So yeah, he'll be kicking himself.
JC is behind him, and JC is 1.5 turns up.
I'll go on board with a different team. FRA JJHN79 on his lap. He could be a driver that could go for pole. He's been setting some very good times so far in qualifying. Consistency as well from him.
Oh, JC lost a bit of traction at the last corner, and he goes pole at 26.1, but I assume he lost some time in the final corner there.
Cracking
so there's still time for improvement.
Cracking that for 0.1. Incredible job.
Overkill's 2 tenths up, but I don't think he's gonna go for pole unless he actually nails the final again, and he loses a bit of traction as well on the final corner. He goes P6 at 26.3. F8, Maxwell G at 26.0.
Wow, what a time there. Did not expect that one. Hasn't really been showing up too much so far this qualifying session, but he has turned up when it counted most. Maxwell at 26 flat, what a time there. And JJHN has just invalidated.
Oh, F8 spins in the final corner.
Is it? Yeah, FH facing the wall.
I think Jet is out of fuel.
Yeah, he invalidated. He invalidated.
Oh, he invalidated.
Around Stowe. What can Matt GW do? I didn't see how much he was up there on his time.
Jack crosses the line, and I think he invalidated as well.
Matt GW coming to finish for the final time in the McLaren.
L7, P3.
Matt crosses the line to go P3. So some strong times being set here from these guys, and that is it. That is a wrap from qualifying here today.
That was so close.
That was incredible. That was a really, really good qualifying session. Incredible job there. Some very good times, and the top 6 separated by just over a tenth, which is amazing. That's really good. That's exactly what we want to see. This is going to be a very, very good race. So Iro Maxwell sticks it on pole for JC in P2 on the front row. Matt GW followed by L74G P3 and P4. V Pisty there in P5 for FRA. JJHN in P6. Jordan Vare P7. Overkill, Ricori, Rev, FRTH, FH44, Jack, Rapid, Jerry, and Callum. That is the lineup today. So, what do we make of that then? That was a pretty intense qualifying there. Some very good times being put in, and it was the smallest fraction of error could literally have cost you pole for some of these drivers. Nothing separating them. Really, really good to see. Let's hope we have just as an exciting race here penultimate race of the season. Obviously, the last race will be the final, which will be sometime next week between NOX and Decorus. But now we have FRA, TTM, and FRT battling it out for P5 to P7. Who in the chat thinks will come out on top today? Any suggestions from you guys? I think we'll have a few minute break here, just get everyone's setups ready, and so they're all prepared for this 50% race. We're going to have a full dry race today. There'll be no rain interfering to change up the strategy at all. More than likely going to be a soft medium strat. That's what we'll be seeing, but obviously safety cars could play a part later on in the race potentially, which could change up strategies, but the main strategy is a soft medium. Obviously the drivers, there'll be 5 drivers starting outside the top 10 who have that option to start probably on the mediums. I don't think we'll see anyone start on the hards. In fact, we can have a little look now, to be fair, to see what the drivers outside, and they're all starting on mediums except for Callum, who's currently on softs. Not too sure if he is going to commit to that or if he hasn't selected mediums yet. But everyone outside the top 10 on the mediums minus Callum, and obviously everyone inside the top 10 are starting on the softs that they qualified on. Yeah, Maxwell though, the Swedish driver for FRT, sticking it on pole position, the only driver to do a flat. Everyone else was at least a tenth off of him, but yeah, all qualifying session didn't really, wasn't really able to hook up some great laps before that, but really came into clutch when it mattered most and stuck it on pole position for his FRT. And he's actually, the closest FRT driver to him? Ricori, I think. Ricori down in P9.
And
so
P9.
wow.
Yeah, both all teams are quite spread out. I was just looking like, yeah, well, FRT has one driver on pole, but then the rest is all down in P9, 10, 11, and 13. But TTM has three drivers at the front, the first 2 rows, and then they have Jerry and Callum at the back.
Yeah, but
and then FRA is sort of in the middle. So the field is.
Yeah.
The teams on their own their drivers are close to each other. So yeah.
Certainly. We'll see some small sort of groups building up, I would think, for teams working with each other. But like you say, it's so spread out. That's going to make it very entertaining to watch, as it's just going to be a big old scrap, I think, within at least the first 5 laps. As yeah, everyone's going to be amongst each other. No one's really dominated qualifying, I wouldn't say. Yeah, it's been very nicely spread out, which is great to see.
Yeah, well, no one really dominated, but you could say that TTM is the winner of qualifying with 3 drivers on the first 2 rows.
Yeah, very good from those 3, but it was certainly Maxwell that has stole the show today. That incredible time, at 26 flat. But yeah, hopefully we're going to get started shortly. I think we'll just be waiting on a couple of drivers just getting prepared. With Broadromantics in the chat saying up the FRT. Ross Vincent, TTM Rossi saying up the TTM. 25 of you watching at the moment. I hope you guys are looking forward to this race. We'll be getting started very shortly, so thanks for your patience. I do think though this medium strategy is going to be really good for the drivers starting outside top 10. FH444, Jack, Rapid, Jerry, all starting on those mediums. So although we won't really see much of them to begin with, I think they will come into clutch later on in the race when they'll be on the softs and everyone else will be on the mediums.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be dependent of how big the DRS train in front is going to be, because if you, as a medium runner, can stay in the DRS train of almost all the soft drivers, you have such a big advantage. But if you drop out, only for 1 lap you will lose around 5 to 6 seconds maybe in the first stint.
That's very true. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Those 4 drivers really need to make sure they can stay out of any trouble, any sort of damage or anything can really hamper their strategy. But yeah, what's going on? Do we know? It's been quite a long break. Oh, as I say that, 30 seconds on the clock, counting down to start the penultimate race of BFE Season 3, the P5 to P7 playoffs between FRT, TTM, and FRA.
Tess, do you want to bring? Do you want to give some commentary over the starts, please, sir?
Who, me? You want me to,
Yeah.
you want me to start? Okay, of course. Okay, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. There'll be no formation up. We're going to go straight into it. So, here we go as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Who gets the better start there off the line? Looks like Maxwell got a great start. Matt GW looking around the outside of JC, coming into the first corner. Looking very good, close between those two drivers. But so far, so good. I haven't seen anything. There's a Red Bull flew up the inside there. I'm not too sure who that was. That was Pisty. I'm not sure if he took damage there, but so far so good. I think Jack has lost out massively there. I see him go wide on I think that was turn 4. But so far Maxwell's been able to pull Matt GW.
Oh, overkill has spun, I think, on the exit of turn 5.
Unfortunate there from the FRT driver. Jerry and Jack having a little scrap at the back. That's for P14. Jerry's backing off there, and Jack going through to P13 after losing out on the start. I'm not too sure what happened to Jack, but it is still Maxwell leads coming through Cops, followed by Matt GW, L7, JC, Pisty, John, Joran, Rev, Makuri, FH444, Rapid, TTM Callum, Jack, Jerry, and Overkill. That is how we are looking as we're coming on the exit of Maggot and Beckett.
So the big winners of lap 1 today are TTM Callum, who's gained 3 positions, Rev, Caterpillar has gained 2, and Rapid as well, 2. And then we have TTM JC dropping down from P2 to P4, but I don't think he's going to be that disappointed with it, because he's been overtaken by both of his teammates there. And then we have Overkill in plumb last from starting P8 after that incident that occurred in turn 5, and he's pitting.
Yeah. Didn't quite catch that on stream, that was unfortunate, so apologies to the viewers for not seeing that, but luckily Caesar caught it and he can give us his verdict on what happened. But yeah, to be fair, I'm looking, these are big trains, and I'm not seeing anyone do any risky dive bombs, which is really good to see. DRS will be enabled next lap, so we can start seeing some team orders there actually between JJHN and Pisty for FRA, having a little switch there. But yeah, no one sent any city dive bombs or anything, which is really good, as that can ultimately cost you your race, plus potentially someone else's race so early on, and that wouldn't be worth it at all. As you see, the predicted pit stop strategy, like I said, the soft medium is going to be the best strategy, but we can have safety cars or anything later on this race, which can change that a lot. Corey there going wide on Cops, and Jack right in the back of Callum. That's battle for P12. The medium runners, so these guys, if these guys can keep up the soft runners, which they're doing a pretty good job of so far, the train has been very good. The only driver dropping off being Overkill. But yeah, if they can stick with these guys, like Caesar said a little while ago, they'll be able to take a huge advantage, be able to stick in the DRS train. Callum and Rapid there, changing positions. Callum moving up to P11. Rapid getting a 3-second penalty already. That's very early to be seeing penalties, so he'll be kicking himself for that one. And L74 GT.
Oh, I think Jack went wide a bit into the last chicane. He lost some positions.
Oh, Rapid spun, and that is on the penultimate corner.
Oh, those two might have had an incident there then.
Potentially there. Good spot there from you, Caesar. But look at the front runners. They're all so close. I say that as JC gives a bit of oversteer there. Stays within the DRS, but he's broke off from the lead a little bit there. Maxwell trying to fend off that P1, but he's going to struggle with no DRS after Magus and Beckett. So I think Matt GW will be trying to look to get his McLaren past Alpha and Mayo to possibly take the lead. There's still a long way to go yet. A lot of things can happen. We still don't have pit stops or anything. So yeah, so far so good from these guys. Really impressed with the level of racing we're seeing so far, and no silly dive bombs. I'm going to go on board now with L7 as he's got the front row seat. So, oh, I was going to say that, and he spun, and that is out the race. L7-4G got a bit of oversteer there coming out of Maggots and Beckett's, and he's out of the race, and that's a virtual safety car. He'll be absolutely gutted with that, the smallest little mistake, and L7-4G is out of this race. VSC, no safety car. I wonder if we see anyone pitting. We do. Matt GW comes into the pit.
Yeah.
So Mercedes as well, JJH, and he decided to capitalise on this VSC. Are they going to try and go on mediums to the end?
I think the medium tyre could make it to the end, but it will need some time managing.
So Max Silver stayed out, so is JC, so is Ricori, FH444, and Callum. So Callum works his way up to P5 now on those mediums. So, FH44 as well, he's on the mediums, he's worked his way up to P4, so the medium runners should be pretty happy with that. Oh, FRA Jack with a drive-through penalty, speeding under VSC. That is very unfortunate. FH444 holding the inside line from Ricori. I think they're both teammates though, so... Oh, is Ricori actually hits the back of it, FH444 then? Does he take damage? I don't think he does. Yeah, obviously Ricori on the quicker compound as it stands right now, with the two FRT drivers battling it out, but Callum's right on the back coming through cops here. Callum will be wanting to try his chances on these two that seems to be scrapping quite a bit. Be interesting to see what happens here, if there's any team order between Ricori, although he will have DRS, so it should be pretty easy for him to overtake his teammate. The first DNF of the race is the AlphaTauri driver, TTM driver, L74G. Not very often do you see that driver make mistakes like that, but this one has cost him massively. He's super unfortunate there, but that is racing, it happens. FH44 going a little bit deep there into the village, and Callum right on the back of him. Battle for P4. Ricori is now starting to pull, as Callum is looking at the inside of turn 1. He thinks otherwise. That would have been a very opportunistic move from the TTM driver. But all over the back of these two. Be interested to see what happens. And the more these guys battle, it's actually allowed Jerry to catch up. Jerry's quite some way back behind this group. Only a lap or so ago, but he's now caught up to these guys within the DRS. And they're breaking away from the rest of the field. So let's have a look at pit stops. Who has pitted? Stops. Okay, so the top, I can't tell if Jack and Rapid have pitted or not. Do you know? I don't think they have.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. No.
I don't think so. So the top 8 still need to pit. P9 and behind have all pitted so far. MagGW lead the drivers who have currently pitted. Let's have a little look though, as Ricori now is going to be under pressure from his teammate. Does his teammate send it or not?
I think there might be some team orders there.
Yeah, they switch once again. This allowed Callum to really catch up with these guys, and he's going to be playing his chances right. He might be able to see. Oh, he actually hits the back of Ricori there. There's a little bit of a late defend there from Ricori, but luckily no serious damage has occurred. JC sets the fastest lap, currently in P2, but Maxwell 4/10 ahead of JC. Maxwell's had a wonderful start. He started on pole position and is still leading the race. And Callum sends one up the inside of Ricori and doesn't quite make it work as Ricori gets the better traction on the exit. And Ricori still holds that P4 from Callum. And that's allowed FH444 to make a little bit of a gap from them. Have you noticed anything there, Caesar?
I've been looking to the gap from MagGW to Maxwell G, and it's not coming down that fast.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if, but a strategy goal is very good because of the VSC. You obviously don't lose that much time, but if Maxwell G and TTM JC and Ricori 13 can extend their soft stint a bit longer to around lap 12 or 13, for example, without losing time. They're going to gain.
JC goes up for a move, coming into Stowe, and he is taking the lead of the race off Maxwell. Maxwell losing that first place for the first time in 6 laps. JC takes the lead of this race after sticking with it for quite some time. Sorry to interrupt you there, Caesar.
It's totally fine as we have. Yeah, well, like you said, Jerry has got up quite a lot, indeed.
As Jack picks up a 5-second pedal. Jack, it's not going well for Jack, so obviously had to take that drive through, and now he's also got a 5-second to take his drive through. So yeah, he'll be gutted with that one. Not going too well for Jack, a driver that I certainly thought would be one up with the top runners today. It's not looking like it's going to be going his way at all. Obviously, if we have a safety car later on this race, we can definitely see him back in the mix. Rev and Jack switching positions. Obviously, that's because Jack's pitted. Callum really all over Ricori. He has been for the last 2-3 laps. Really wanted to get past, but Ricori's been able to defend super well in that Williams.
Yeah, I think his teammate is helping him with the DRS because he's still within.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, what was that?
So Callum went up the inside there. I caught that on stream up the inside of Ricori, and it didn't lose out too much there, but Ricori did just close the door on him. Ultimately, that put.
So to interrupt you, Maxwell G takes the lead again into Stowe. A lap after JC got onto the lead for the first time this race, but now Maxwell G is back in front in Alfa Romeo.
I think these guys are not going to be battling too much. I think they they expect each other to sort of overtake each other through the DRS. They don't want to be battling too hard because that can ultimately drain their tyres off. But I think they're kind of almost working together in a way, just sort of giving each other respect on track. Easy overtakes, not doing any lunges or anything. They both know that they've got a long way to go yet. So yeah, can't win the race this early on for sure.
I think in the second stint, well, after the top 7 has pitted, MrJSmithy is going to have quite a big task. Try not to make sure that those FRA drivers will overtake him and peel off into the distance. He's got FRA Jet, Pisty and Joran very close behind him. And as it says now, I think since the virtual safety car, they've gained around 2 to 3 seconds to Maxwell G.
Yeah, it's currently on board with Pisty now. There's a nice little battle going on here from P8 down to P11. MrJSmithy, JJHN, V Pisty, Joran there.
JC is going to take the lead again. Yeah, he is.
Once again, no defending there from Maxwell. Done the exact same move between each other for the last 2-3 laps. JC decides to jump into the pit and is going to try and do the undercut on Maxwell, get out ahead of him. Maxwell probably will be pitting this lap. That is my guess anyways.
I'm very curious to see where he comes out compared to the likes of MrJSmithy and FRA Jet.
That's true. Let's go on board with MrJSmithy now then, as he's coming around Village. We're in the penultimate corner, coming into the final corner now. As you can see on the map, slowly coming out of the pits. Where is MrJSmithy going to come out? It should be quite a ways ahead of these guys.
That's quite a distance, that.
That is.
And he's been undercutted by Rev Caterpillar as well.
So drivers that did pits on that VSC have been able to capitalise massively there, but obviously their tyres are going to be much more worn than the likes of JC and Maxwell come the end of this race. Not too much overtaking as such. I think everyone's sort of just sticking in their trains for now. No one wants to do any crazy moves just yet. And most of the races so far has been very respectful, which is great to see. I'm going to stay on board with Joran Fair here, as he's got 3 drivers ahead of him. Coming from Maggie's and Beckett's now, they're going to have a DRS just afterwards. Be interesting to see if there's going to be any switching around. Although they are all FRA drivers, so I don't think they're going to be battling too hard. But MrJSmithy from TTM currently leading that battle as he goes defensive. He doesn't have any DRS. JJHN not close enough to make a strike coming in to Stowe there. And ERN Maxil has pitted. He has come in. It'd be interesting to see where he comes out compared to the likes of JC. Obviously, JC pitted that one lap before. These guys are battling, swapping for the lead, lap after lap. Let's see. Let's go on board with JC now. See where he is going to come out in comparison.
I think the gap stayed almost the same, so it's going to be quite close.
Yeah, as you can see the Alfa Romeo onto the right, and they're coming out side by side.
Ooh.
And JC only just getting ahead, to be fair. So there wasn't actually a massive advantage there from JC doing an undercut. And these guys are once again back together. I'm sure we'll see them swap around again. It was Max who gets a big amount of oversteer there. Corrects it very nicely.
Crucially though, they are almost 7 seconds behind MrJSmithy.
Yeah, and obviously they've got their own DRS train as well, so these guys will stick it together. Likewise with JC and Maxwell, so they've got their own little DRS and trains going on.
Oh. Rokori and Jack going side by side in the Brookers, and Rokori gets pushed wide onto the gravel. By the gravel.
Yeah, Rokori did very well there though to not spin out on the gravel, control the car very well. He's going to have gravel on his tyres now. He's got to be careful coming through the likes of cops, flat right-hander.
Oh, I think JC made a mistake. Maxil G overtook him before the hanger straight.
Oh wow, yeah. JC looking to the outside of Maxil. And we've got Rev just ahead as well, going much slower due to not having that DRS. And Maxil takes that P10 off of JC. JC looking into Village though, down the inside. Ooh. Goes JC. Very nice move, but Maxil up the inside, and they switch once again. And yeah, these guys have done some very peaceful overtakes, but now it's their elbows that both seem to be coming out a little bit more now. I've just seen that. Yeah, nothing too serious.
Might be seeing an overtake for the net lead very soon, as MrJSmithy is quite low on ERS compared to the FRA drivers behind. There's JJHN on 78 and MrJSmithy on 40, so yeah, quite a big difference there. Jerry is very close on the back of FRT FH there.
All over the back of him. So if he gets a nice exit at Beckett's here, he can try and have a look potentially on FH 444. He's going for it. As he goes up the inside, coming into Stone, makes a move before, although
he keeps it on the outside.
Very well done there from FH. Holding it around the outside, brilliant there from him. And also the respect between the two. Jerry giving him the space on the outside. Very nice driving between these two.
FRA added to the net lead. Overtaken MrJSmithy.
Yeah, yes. MrJSmithy is currently in an FRA sandwich at the moment. Kind of a lone wolf for TTM in this battle. Jerry right on the back of FH right now. Is he going to make a move here? Using the ERS before we get to the DRS detection zone. Yeah. And he goes around the
yellow
outside.
Flag. I think that's Rokori again.
Can't quite make it work, and FH goes very, very deep, and that's actually allowed Jerry up the inside, but FH is still there, and Jerry shuts the door and takes P1. That's another change for the lead. FH gets a bit of oversteer there as well, but managed to hold them very nicely. I don't think that battle's over just yet, Caesar, do you?
I don't think so. It's certainly not going to be the last pass for the lead. We've seen so many overtakes for the lead already this race.
Yeah, we have. Great to see. I think we had about 5 different leaders, I think, so far. There's been quite a few. JC all over the back of Rev Caterpillar here, coming up towards Cops, looking around the outside. How is this going to end up? Rev keeping up the inside. Yeah, very, very nice from Rev there. Been able to keep on the inside on that dirty line and not make a mistake there. And he defends his P10. And as we were just speaking, FH44 gets past Jerry on the DRS zone just before Stoke. So another switch for the lead. 110 separate MrJSmithy and Pisty. Pisty all over the back, but it's going to be hard for him when MrJSmithy's now got the DRS from Pisty's teammate, JJHN, just ahead. Never too easy being in a DRS train trying to make overtakes.
We're now halfway through the race, and Maxil G is still around 6.5 seconds behind FRA Jet, who looks to be almost breaking the DRS train from MrJSmithy behind. But I think he made a mistake and it's gone down to around 6 tenths again. But yeah, ERM Maxwell G is now off to reel in his competitors in front of him. It's gonna be difficult for him though, because he obviously doesn't have any DRS.
No, that's it. I've also noticed Pisty and Joran Ver, they have a lot more DRS than Matt GW and JJHN ahead. So they've been able to harvest their ERS very well, manage it very nicely. But yeah, I think being low on DRS around here, it's very hard to build back up because it's such a fast track. It's very hard to sort of rebuild DRS. So these guys are doing a very good job. Oh, as Pisty almost loses there, where L74G did DNF earlier. That was so close, and what a recovery. I caught that on stream as well. So yeah, what a save there from Pisty. That's super close. Could have all ended in tears there. But some quick reaction time from Pisty has kept him in this race.
Cherry still all over the back of FRT FH as Callum gets the time penalty, 3 seconds. I think we're gonna get an overtake for the lead again.
Possibly. I noticed FH444 took a very wide line to have a nice exit there, whereas Jerry took a very tight line, and that's ultimately not giving him a good exit at all. And he's nowhere near FH in that DRS, nowhere near striking distance at least anyway. It's all about setting yourself up to have a nice exit a lot of the time when you're trying to make these moves. Yeah, very clean up there between those two, most certainly.
We mentioned Matt GW being low on ERS, but the Mercedes in front of him, FRA Jet, is now below 10%. So unless he's getting the DRS from Rapid, the FRT driver in front, he's going to be vulnerable to the McLaren behind.
I've been corrected by a lesson in the chat. Isn't Silverstone easy to say? Maybe
it's easier than on some other tracks at least. But as we now have Matt GW pulling out to the outside of FRA Jet. They're still side by side all the way into Stowe. But I think Matt GW makes the move.
Great move there from Matt GW. We've seen 2 moves like that so far today. Around the outside, it seems to be a popular overtaking spot. A very ballsy one to say the least.
As we have some medium runners in, TTM Jerry and TTM Callum starting on the mediums. They're going to have 12 laps on the softs to push.
This train hasn't really changed much at all.
Ooh, yellow flag. Is that JC? That's JC. He spun in turn 1, turn 2.
Does he have damage though? That is the question as we are looking. Doesn't look like it.
I think so.
I think he's got away with that. Maybe just a bit of a spin there from JC. Luckily for him though, not taking damage, otherwise that would have really hampered his race. Excuse me there. Overkill, Jack swapping. Okay, Jack's in the pits. Yeah, Jack's really going to be wanting to pray for a safety car or something as he had that drive through at the very start of the race, and plus that 5 second, which I presume he'll be taking. He'll be serving now unless he hasn't served it already. But yeah, he's going to want to try and get back into this race somehow. And without a safety car, I think it's going to be very hard for him. At the moment, this battle, this Matt GW train, all aboard the Matt GW train at the moment. These guys have been super close.
But I think Rapid might be pitting this lap. No, he stays out. Or not longer. So they're going longer than Jerry and Callum on mediums.
Okay, so Maxil, the pole sitter, could be under pressure here from Rev behind, not having DRS. Rev sitting in P8 in the Aston Martin from FRT. Can we see him possibly make a move on Maxil? That'll be from P7.
Crucially, Matt GW has got DRS of Rapid FRT driver in front. So he'll be cheering that the Rapid stayed out for a lap longer, because he's going to have a lap longer to harvest some ERS to be able to defend in the last 10 laps.
It'd be interesting to see when FH pits. Obviously, Jerry and him were battling for P1 a little while ago. Jerry pitting as well as Callum. FH decided to stay out. How much more laps is he going to do though? And will that undercut be effective from Jerry? Obviously, FH will be coming into play at the very end of this race, as he will have the fresher softs. But yeah, be interested to see what actually happens here.
The drivers on softs are gonna have to get quite a move on, because the highest driver up on at the moment is TTM Jerry, and his nearest competitor in front is 13 seconds up the road. As FH comes into the pits, and I would imagine, ooh, Rapid stays out.
Rapid stays out.
Right. Interesting.
Oh, it's FH pitted. I didn't notice that. So FH pitted. Was it 2 laps after Jerry? I think he's on 2
laps. Yeah, 2 laps confirmed.
Yeah. So let's go on board with Jerry now as he's coming through Village. Where's he going to come out in comparison to FH? My guess is he's going to come out maybe 3 seconds ahead, 2-3 seconds ahead, I think. Although he's not had DRS, and he's second fastest lap as well. So he was really
it's going to be
lap. He's going to add. Yeah, I think pretty. Okay, so around 1.5 seconds or so, he's come out ahead. So my prediction was a little bit off. Yeah, the undercut working, but crucially, FH on those newer soft now, they will be in much better condition come lap 24, 25, 26.
I think Rapid's going to be a long way behind all the other soft runners because of his laps that he's now doing on very old hard mediums.
FRA Jax is the fastest lap, as unfortunately that point won't count if he does keep that being back in P14 at the moment. But good to see him continuing, just praying that some safety car potentially could come out. You never know, but it has been a very lonely racing for Jack. Do feel for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so still watching Rev here on the back of Maxwell. Not really been able to put much of a threat onto Maxwell so far, the pole sitter. Maxwell with no DRS seems to be keeping a nice gap between himself and Rev. So Rapid still out. Currently leads the race, 17 lap old mediums. Still yet to pit, and there's a big DRS train, all trying to stay at that slipstream. Matt GW's really wanting to wrap. Well, to be fair, I think if you're a Matt GW, I think it's probably better to have Rapid ahead potentially instead of DRS, or he does have a turbulent air. But
well, since he's gone into the DRS of Rapid, he's managed still to save some energy, and he's now up to 50% DRS. It was at 5 or 6%, wasn't it 2 laps ago? That's massively helped him.
So DW in the chat has made an interesting point there. He is saying Rapid is holding the lead pack up so Maxwell can catch up. That's a good observation there. That could be very well what he's doing. But yeah, that's a good point there for you, DW.
And this obviously helps for Rapid with Matt GW saving ERS behind him, because he doesn't have the intention to pass him.
Oh, Jerry and FH having a little swap there. FH getting past him on the DRS before Stowe. Comfortably getting past Jerry. Jerry has no DRS, and these two are currently just chilling on their own little race. I'm quite impressed though to see the 5-second penalty there from Callum Speed into the pit lane. That's going to be costing quite a lot there. But yeah, these guys, this battle here, the Matt GW, you can call it the Rapid train now. As Matt GW looks on the outside, can he make it work? As Rapid completely closes the door there, Matt GW actually has to run onto the grass. That was a little bit naughty there from Rapid. Luckily, nothing too serious happened. But they're still side by side. And he's going to want to try and hold it around the outside of Cops, doing very hard on those worn tyres. But they're still side by side. And he's actually using a run off there. And they're still side by side, coming up towards Maggins and Beckett. Who's going to be pulling out? As no one pulls out, they're so close to contact there, and that could have easily spun Matt GW out. But he was very brave there, going in side by side. But luckily for both drivers, no one has a spin. But you can look at JJHN right behind. JJHN, look around the outside of Rapid as Matt GW takes the lead. JJHN can't quite make it work. But Matt GW takes the lead, and Rapid sends one up the inside of Matt GW. Matt GW keeping position though, and it doesn't seem to be too effective. As JJ is actually pushing Rapid now. Rapid on those older mediums, and you can really see that he is starting to struggle on those tyres, but he's still doing a very good job. Sort of throwing a spanner into the works with this battle. ERN Maxwell is 2.5 seconds behind this group, so he is closing. He is most certainly closing on this group for them battling.
This little battle and MrJSmithy passing Rapid might have won MrJSmithy the race. Because Rapid's going to be so on pace at the moment.
Yeah, he is, and he's going to be holding up the FRA guys as well as best he can, and he will be in the DRS of MrJSmithy still. But yeah, he's going to really want to try and keep his FRA drivers behind to try and help his teammate Maxwell the best he can.
Rapid's going to be in
JJ Shen's got 94%.
Yeah,
DRS.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Wow, he is managed that incredibly well. But being in a DRS train this whole time, you don't really have to use it too much.
I've just seen in the chat Rapid pulling a Ferris, but this time not only on one driver, but on around 4 drivers.
I think Callum is actually disconnected, I think, as his car is currently ghosted at the moment, which is super unfortunate for the TTM driver. But Rapid going to try and make a move here on MrJSmithy. He's going to send one up the inside of Stowe. Can he hold on? As he does give a little bit of a touch there to MrJSmithy. But Rapid really wants to try and retake the lead of this race to try and hold them all up. He does not want MrJSmithy to get away. And ERN Maxwell has now closed that gap by nearly half a second, so over half a second in fact.
Rapid's down to 6% DRS.
He's clutching the doors right now, Rapid, but he's doing a grand job for the FRT team. See what he does here. Jerry takes up a 3-second time penalty. Rapid though on the back of MrJSmithy. Matt does not decide to defend, and that looks like Rapid's through. So Rapid's retaken the lead of this race. That is crucial for FRT. That is really, really good there from Rapid for him to be able to get ahead. MrJSmithy not defending too much there, to be fair. I was expecting maybe him to change quick sides of the track. But maybe if he's on the outside, you can try and hold it around the outside, which then turns to the inside for the following right-hander. But didn't quite work out for him. But yeah, Rapid really, really struggling here. I think it should be a pretty easy overtake from MrJSmithy after this Maggot and Beckett section.
We were talking about ERN Maxwell catching up, but he's got Rev Caliber 8 that's behind as MrJSmithy is closing in.
Looks
to the outside.
Commits to the left side. Rapid not able to go alongside him into Stowe.
Goes wide.
I'm interested to see what JJHN decides to do. With all that ERS so late in the race, he's going to really want to just try and use that to his advantage. But being in this DRS train is not easy. But still though, he's a 92% ERS. Pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously just watching the 2 cars in front, battling it out. So I think Rapid loses on the exit. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move, unless he does get it. He's gaining. Going to be very late.
He is. He's going to try and stick at the inside, but he is not close enough to make a move. MrJSmithy closes the door as Rapid was nowhere near, but he did try a potential optimistic dive there, but he backed out of it, which was definitely the correct thing to do. Jerry and FH, they're still together, having their own battle. 3-second time penalty there from JC. Get quite a few penalties picked up. As
that's crucial. Jordan takes another time penalty. He's going to drop back to P7, I think.
Wow.
Or P6 actually, after Rapid is pitted. And saying that, he still hasn't pitted. He's driving on 21 lap old mediums.
Rapid not close enough to make a move though on Matt as he comes into Stowe. He's just using all that little bit of ERS he's got left. He's still just trying to use it to try and get every ounce out of that car. 4 laps remaining, which will now turn into 3 laps as MrJSmithy crosses the line to start lap 23 here at Silverstone.
Maxwell G and Rev Caterpillar has entered the DRS train.
Wow! Oh, this is when it's going to get heated up, I think. Their own little train all race, and now that little train has turned into a much bigger train as 2 more drivers have jumped onto the back of the MrJSmithy train.
They are so close together, it's insane. 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 2 tenths. Rapid closing in on MrJSmithy again.
Up the inside. MrJSmithy going to try to switch back here, but he can't make it work. A Rapid, once again, where he takes a lead in this race. He's had an incredible race, to be fair, with such little ERS, really holding it on, and he's done what he's tried to do from the start, which was essentially get Maxwell to catch up, and he's done that. Maxwell is now within the train that Rapid is currently leading. So yeah, great engineering and teamwork there from the FRT boys.
The time for Jet to overtake MrJSmithy for the race win is running out a bit. But he'll be hoping Rapid to pit as soon as possible, because Jet has got so much more ERS than the guys in front.
Look at this train, they're all weaving side to side. What happens here? MrJSmithy looking on the outside of Rapid. But I'm on board of JJHN right now, and JJHN is going to try and make a move potentially on Matt as he gets a much better exit. Matt defends though very hard, coming into Village. Rapid holds a lead still, and I think
Max G on the inside of Pisty. They make contact, but luckily no spinner whatsoever.
Max right to the back of Rev as well. The FRT boys are currently leading and at the back of this train, so they're going to try and work together here as best they can.
The top 7 is called by only 1.5 seconds.
This is
and we have 3 laps to go.
It's incredible racing though from all these drivers. Take my hat off to them. They did a very good as a yellow flag.
JC has spun again.
Oh no way! And that's dropped him right down now as FH and Jerry both get past. That's going to be quite crucial there for TTM. Potential some more points potentially lost there. When is Rapid going to pit? He hasn't pitted yet. He still needs to serve his pit stop. I think he'll probably do it this lap, so then it means he can try and set the fastest lap at the end as well. If he does it any longer, I think it's not very worth it. But yeah, he's done well though, being on the mediums from the start, and currently leading the race, or not on penalties of course, and yeah, just to still be sort of competing with these guys. MrJSmithy looks on the outside. Rapid squeezing to the outside of the track. MrJSmithy trying to get the switch back on him. Can't make it work. And Rapid, once again, still leading. And he pits.
Goes into the pits.
Look at Maxwell on Pisty. Maxwell on the inside. And he gets past Jordan Fair as well. Oh no, he hasn't nearly. Oh, and he gets a massive amount of oversteer there. And that's allowed Rev. Pisty's dropped right back. And the 2 FRT boys get. Oh, okay, Rev's given position back. So maybe that was nice there from Rev. Obviously, he must have made a mistake. Given the position back, that's good sportsmanship there.
But let's go to the front. Jet has been waiting for the whole race to make a move on MrJSmithy. MrJSmithy does not have any DRS in front. And Jet has got so much more ERS. Ooh.
Okay, so JJ has got a lot of ERS and he's got a lot to use. 2 laps to use it in. Rapid comes out in P10, so he should actually be able to keep that fastest lap, provided he gets it. Jerry and FH still having a great old battle. They've been having a great old time. I think we haven't really focused on them too much towards the end of this race, unlike we was earlier on, but I'm sure they've been having a great old battle there, and that's P8. Let's have a little look at penalties. That's where. Okay, so Jordan Vare's got 6 seconds. That's going to cost him quite a bit.
Jet's closing in. He's closing in. He's going to make a move. On the inside. Into stow.
Another race leader, so a new race leader, JJHN, who almost got pole position potentially, but invalidated on his last lap. He started down, I think, P6, but halves his ERS super well. The best out of anyone on the track today with ERS. As he sets the fastest lap there as well. Currently leading the race.
Crucial.
The last lap. Did JJHN just take the lead on the final lap to win this race? He has got MrJSmithy behind him, who potentially, I would say, is in probably the better seat right now. Wouldn't you say, Caesar? Been on the last lap, you can get that DRS coming out of Magnus and Beckett's. Potentially, I think MrJSmithy could be in the prime seat right now, to possibly take this race win.
But Jet is using ERS as well, and he still has a bit more.
Oh,
Jet goes a bit wide.
The door there for MrJSmithy. That was super close. Mac backing off though, as he knows he's got a prime overtaking opportunity a little bit later on. We've got a yellow flag. It's a Red Bull up ahead of these guys, so he's going to have the blue flag. Is he
going to give some DRS though to JJN?
Oh, interesting there. So interesting tactics there from the FRA guys.
He obviously has blue flag, so he's gonna have to back up early in time.
Jack
So
has been able to actually do something which could actually potentially give his team the win here, as Matt's nowhere near close enough to make a move, and it looks like it's going to be JJH.
Pisty and Ref together, side by side. Ref goes very wide. He
But
takes his position. Pisty's still side by side. Oh, he turns in a bit, but Jet's gonna cross the line to win.
incredible drive there of JJH, super consistent all race. Matt GW just missing out that win. He'll be absolutely kicking himself, but a great race of both those guys. Max on the pulses comes home to take P3, and that was incredible there from Rapid earlier on, which has actually really helped the FRT boys secure that last spot on the podium. Pisty takes P4 from Rev Caterpillar there in P5. Joran Ver takes P6 with 6 seconds time penalty. That's dropped down to P6, like you suggested earlier, Caesar. Jerry takes P7. Rapid takes the fastest lap there as well, like we predicted. FH44 takes P8. Rapid takes P9, and the fastest lap, which will give him an extra point. Ricori takes the final point today, P10. Overkill comes home to take P11. Crosses the line now in the Mercedes. JC coming around to take P12. Jack there takes P13, but as probably arguably gave FRA the win of the race. But we have all 3 teams on the podium, which is pretty amazing to see, and it does reflect the race in terms of how close it was from qualifying all the way into the race. And I can quite happily sit here and say that was a very entertaining race. I really did enjoy that one, Caesar.
I'm not sure, but I think FRA is gonna get the win. There we have FRT and then TTM. FRA, by my calculations, scores I think 45 points, if I'm not mistaken. 41. No, 45 points for FRA.
And it is
So yeah, that's the win confirmed.
Yeah, it's FRA. JJHN takes the win there. Super consistent drive from him. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that one. All that managing ERF really paid off at the end there. FRA in the chat has confirmed they're on 45 points. I think, is that what you just said? So yeah, JJHN takes the win. Matt GW in P2, Maxwell in P3, V Pisty there in P4, Rev Caterpillar P5, Joran there in P6, Jerry coming out to take P7, and FH44 taking P8. So Jerry winning that battle that they had all race. Rapid takes P9, Ricori P10, Overkill P11, JC P12, Jack P13, Cannon P14, L74G unfortunately the only DNFer today.
Confirmation on the professional race result: FRA scores 45, FRT scores 32, and TTM scores 24.
Yeah, good race all round. Quite impressed with for the racecraft from those guys, that race. It was good
Yeah, especially the DRS turn in the last 10 laps, how close they were together. Especially when the FRT drivers closed in. They were covered by 1.5 seconds, I think 7 or 8 drivers. Insane.
Yeah, it certainly was. Right, let's have a look. Let's get some of these guys in a party. Let's get JJHN in. Invite to party. Let's get Matt GW in. Where is he? Can't find him. I have no idea. Where's Matt gone? I'm not too sure. And we'll get Maxwell in as well. Let's jump on to... Bear with... Oh no. I've gone to the wrong party, haven't I? I'm going to need to jump back into the other party. I don't know, can you... Caesar, speak a minute? I'm not sure. Bear with. I need to go and see the party. Okay, I think we're back in. Yeah, we're
You.
back in.
But yeah, I think you saved some ERS in the last two laps. Just talk us through your race, if you want.
Yeah, I think I was disappointed with qualifying because I knew that I had more time than me to challenge for pole. So starting from I think it was P8, P7 wasn't ideal. But in the end, obviously the VSE come out quite a handy time, so we boxed, and obviously the two guys stayed out, and then I had to get back in Matt's DRS, managed to do it, and then it was obviously trying to save the ERS. I got past in the one stage, but I just couldn't quite pull away. I think I got to like around 8/10 or so at one stage, but yeah, just didn't quite have enough there, and then. Obviously, he got back ahead, and then we had the Williams who hadn't boxed yet. That was quite tricky because he was defending quite hard, which he's right to do because even though he hadn't boxed, he got track position. So I think at the time it was all about just being patient, saving the ERS, and obviously yeah, holding on towards the end, and then having to go at max. So I think really yeah, it was just the main thing was just to be patient throughout the race.
Yeah, I think the most important, I think FRA have done very well to secure the win, a professional win today. I think yourself and Pisty and Jordan were so close together. How difficult is it to be as a team with three drivers so close together? For example, without crashing into each other or something. How difficult is that?
Yeah, it's obviously always at the back of your mind because you never want to obviously run into your teammates or crash. But obviously, Pisty and Joran had great pace. Jack and Overkills as well. They had really good pace. In practice, they were just unfortunate with the instance they had. So I think overall, it's a great. We got some great guys in the team, and it was a great team performance to get this win. So yeah, everybody showed some real good pace today.
Yeah, it was an incredible drive there from you. I caught your final lap there, Jed, and I see you invalidated on Stowe, so on the exit of Stowe. So that ultimately could have potentially lost you a higher starting position. But harvesting your ERS so well a race and coming into the win, incredible win there from you. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good one.
So Matt GW hasn't joined the party. He did finish P2, but we do have the pole sitter and the final podium sitter, Aaron Maxwell G. Yes, so started on pole position, led up to about lap 9, had a really strong race, and I think arguably your teammate Rapid really did help you out, holding up the train with the other guys. Actually allowed you to catch up. You did a very good job catching up and making some crucial overtakes on the last few laps. Coming to take P3, so incredible drive from you as well. How did you find it?
I just want to say thank you to the team because they did an amazing job with teamwork. Both me and Caterpillar getting past TTM JC, and then obviously, as you said, Rapid, that legend holding up. I mean, it wasn't like 4 cars up there, I think, so that I could catch up. So yeah, I'm just amazing teamwork, really.
Yeah, it was a grand job from you, and yeah, coming home to take P2. Well, the team coming home to take P2, and yeah, overall really good drive, and overall I want to say from all the drivers, from everything I saw, pretty much was really good racing, and there wasn't any silly moves or anything. So it's all round a really good race. So yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, well done guys. And, I think we're gonna call it a wrap here, Caesar. I've enjoyed commentating this race. I hope you have too.
Yeah, I genuinely have, and hopefully the drivers did enjoy it as well. It was good entertainment.
Yeah, it certainly was. I haven't commentated a race like that where it's been so close for quite some time. So it was yeah, really good to commentate, and I hope you guys watch it back and enjoy it. It was certainly a good one to be watching. So yeah, until next time, thank you very much, guys. We will be shooting off now, and the final should be next week, and that'll be between Decorus and NRX. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. That'll be the 3rd final in BFE's history. Yeah, one definitely not to be missing. So yeah, thank you very much guys for watching, and we'll be back another time. Cheers.